Thank you for coming. As always with this group, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but hopefully each of you will learn something new, and even more hopefully I'll manage to convince a few of you to begin giving yourself the gift of healing. I'm not exaggerating when I say it could save your life, and I know it will make it more pleasant and doable. When I finally decided to do psychic healing on myself, my health was on a downhill spiral. It took years of work, but today I'm in better health than I was a decade ago. I'm pain-free and much happier. Life gets easier with psychic healing. Your mind works better and faster. Mood improves. Your reaction to stress becomes more relaxed and efficient. And you don't get sick as often. And when you do, it's less severe and passes quickly. And of course, your connection to spirit strengthens, which is actually what makes all of the above possible. So I guess we should start out by saying, what exactly is psychic healing? And I guess you would, everything I tell you today is open to debate. Everybody has different ideas about these things. What I'm telling you are my ideas. And usually I've checked them out. So there are a lot of people's ideas. If it's just mine, I'll let you know. So my definition is that psychic healing is a modality that repairs the body, not by touch, not by manipulation, not by medicine, not by psychoanalysis, but by repairing the body's energy field, that field that we have around us, or aura. And why does it work? Give it a second. It not work. It doesn't work. Don, can you make it better? Thank you. That which is above is like that which is below, and that which is below is like to that which is above. This is the beginning of the Emerald Tablet of Hermes Trismegistus, the text of which was discovered in an encyclopedic era work on natural history around 15 to 100 Christian era. It has become the primary axiom of Western magic. Only we've shortened it to as above, so below. And we often forget to add the second part, so below, or as below, so above, probably because the implications are too scary to think about. But this is why magic works. And psychic healing is magic. A psychic healer causes change to happen in the physical realm, the body, by causing change to happen in the other worlds, the body's energy field. Because they are alike, what happens in one happens in the other. And since our energy fields are a continuation of a universal energy field that permeates the multiverse, the universal energy field is like the individual's human energy field, which is like the human body. What happens in one happens in all of them. So assuming this is true, you can do quite a bit of healing in your own energy field without a psychic healer, because affecting the below will affect the above. One big thing you can do is to get your physical body repaired by an MD, a naturopath, a chiropractor, a dentist, your healthcare practitioner of choice. That's very important. Can you think of anything else you might do that would affect your energy field positively? Thought, Yeah, positive thinking. Betty, what?
Is it all fun?
All thoughts.
Exercise,
Yes.
activity.
Exercise. Exercise, good, solid exercise actually clears your chakras and opens them and balances them. So yeah, exercise. A walk on the beach, a walk in the woods. Anything else? Meditation. And just being around people who bring you joy and love. I mean, that's huge. That affects your energy field. Feng Shui is also a way to, and also decluttering and, you know, making your surroundings more comfortable for you. Those are all ways of keeping your energy field clear, but not everything in our personal energy fields can be healed from the physical realm. Sometimes our bodies, minds, and hearts suffer such awful trauma that neither medical science, good friends, fresh air, exercise, nor psychoanalysis can heal them. Trauma experienced on the physical plane causes trauma in the energy field. And psychic healing can repair that trauma. And once the energy field is healthy, the body can then begin to heal. But this takes time. Like physical healing, the energy field can be re-injured by going back to our old habits and inclinations, and repeated healings must be done. So it takes time. You've got to keep going back and doing it and doing it. And it's like massage, you know, and if you're paying a psychic healer, it gets very spendy, but it's nice if you can do a lot of it yourself. So that's what we're here for today. Sometimes the healing happens without physical help, but often the physical treatments and psychoanalysis are still needed. But now they have a chance of healing once you fix the energy field. So, and that's huge. This is one reason that cancer sometimes recurs or is untreatable. So if you're going to repair your energy field, you need to know what it looks like. But before we go on to explore what makes up the human energy field, I want to make one thing crystal clear. Most people assume that the body generates the energy field. Although our bodies do generate infrared radiation as heat, our nervous system generates electromagnetic radiation. These are not the same kind of energy as the energy field. Unfortunately, nobody is really sure what type of energy it's made of, but they just know it's not IR or electromagnetic. They know it's there. They don't know what it is. You can feel it, it's there, but they don't know what it is. Our bodies didn't create that energy field. Our energy field creates our body from crystallized light. We are indeed beings of light. The human energy field is mind-boggling complex. Mind-boggling, I can't even say it. Mind-bogglingly complex because our time is short and I want to get to the teaching part. What's going to follow is a quick dash through the elements of the energy field. Each personal energy field is made up of energy bodies. Most systems say there are 7: the etheric body, the emotional body, the mental body, the astral body, the etheric template, the celestial body, and the causal body. Besides, but some give other numbers, you know, and it depends whether how they lump them, you know, it's just all different. And it's so difficult anyway for a psychic to differentiate between the bodies, especially the outer ones, that I'm not surprised not everyone agrees. The thing to get into your head is that these bodies are not layers, okay? They're not layers as they appear on this two-dimensional drawing. We have no way of drawing what they really are. All I can do is tell you about them. Each body is a solid three-dimensional spheroid. The etheric body is the smallest, and the causal body is the largest. And they all permeate the physical body, which they generated. And like our personal energy bodies, the universal energy field also permeates our physical body. They are able to do this because each of them exists in a separate dimension outside of the physical dimension. So they all exist in the same place because they're not quite the same place. We are truly multidimensional beings, and like the movie says, we are everything, everywhere, all at once. Because the energy bodies increase in size, the experienced practitioner can step back from the client and palpate each body as they go in. The causal body would be the first one an experienced practitioner might feel. Then they would push past it to the celestial body. But what they're actually feeling is both the causal and the celestial bodies, right? And by the time they got down to the etheric body, they would be feeling not only it, but the 6 other bodies as well. So does that make sense? Can you get a picture of what's going on there? Okay, good. Let's see. The following figures represent the way Barbara Ann Brennan, a clairvoyant psychic healer and author of Hands of Light, A Guide to Healing Through the Human Energy Field, sees the energy bodies. And these are the energy bodies in a perfectly healthy body. Okay. They don't appear like this usually. These are like idealized. This is what would be perfect. And other psychic systems call them by different names, but Brennan's system is more complete and more useful than any of the others I've studied. And besides, these drawings are cool to look at. They're way cool. Brennan says that Brennan says, and some other clairvoyants agree with her, that the energy bodies alternate between highly structured and amorphous and fluid. This first body is the etheric body. And it corresponds to the physical body and is the template for it. If you were able to just look at it separate from all the others, which is obviously possible because you drew it, you would see an exact replica of the physical body, complete with organs, blood vessels, bones, chakras, all the energy channels, and they would all be shimmering and pulsing in blue light. It's the matrix upon which the physical body is shaped and anchored. It extends 1/4 to like 2 inches beyond the physical body. Unlike the etheric body, the emotional body is fluid and amorphous and brightly colored. It extends like 1 to 3 inches out, that far. And it is associated with our feelings, obviously, because it's the emotional body. The mental body is bright yellow. I'm sorry, that's not very good. I took these pictures from the book. And it's composed of still finer stuff than the first 2 bodies. Again, it's highly structured like the etheric body and contains the structure of our ideas. It extends from 3 to 8 inches past the bodies. The astral body is the threshold between the physical and spiritual bodies. Those first three bodies were associated with and metabolized energies related to the physical world. Okay. The astral body is the threshold. It transforms energy moving between the physical and spiritual parts of aura. It steps down the energy from above into usable form for the etheric, emotional, and mental bodies. And it steps up the energy as it moves up into the first three, from the first three into usable form for the spiritual bodies. Does that make sense? Okay. Like the emotional body, it is amorphous and fluid, but even more brilliantly colored. It extends from 1/2 to 1 foot from the body. So it's out about here. The next three bodies exist in the spiritual dimensions of the personal energy field. Okay. This fifth body is the etheric body template. It's like a negative of the etheric body. And to heal the etheric body, sometimes the healer has to work from the etheric template. Which is the perfect form of the etheric body. It extends about 2.5 feet from the human body, So it's out to there. The celestial body is the emotional body of the spiritual plane and extends about 2 3/4 feet past the physical body. When we are able to raise our consciousness to this level, we experience ecstasy and unconditional love. We feel our intimate connection to the entire multiverse. So that's out about this far. The causal body, woo, come back. That's it. The causal body extends up to 3.5 feet past the physical body. I like to say, a normal person, it's arm length. That's about the extent it goes. It contains all of the 6-3 bodies and defines the personal energy field of the person's present incarnation. Okay, so this is it. It defines your present incarnation. It is egg-shaped and formed of shimmering silver gold light. Like an egg, it has a shell that protects the personal energy field. It is, again, a highly structured template for all of our energy bodies with lines of force and the chakras appearing as silver gold light. The energy current that runs up and down our spine, that kundalini that people talk about and everything, originates in this body and the universal energy field. You see it kind of connects. Our past lives appear as Brennan pictures them as multicolored bands, our karmic past lives, on the shell of the causal body. An experienced psychic healer can often read pieces of a client's karmic history. And sometimes, I think if the conditions are right and the client is ready, they can release them. It's amazing. That takes a little experience. When we reach this level of consciousness, we know that we are one with the divine. We have cosmic consciousness. Past the personal energy field lies the cosmos or multiverse or divine one, whatever. I'm not trying to convince you to call it one thing or the other, but that's what it is. And it also, as we've said before, permeates and nourishes our personal energy field. Which brings us to the chakras. Not all systems, again, agree on which are major and which are minor chakras, but most systems use these 7 major chakras. Crown, brow, throat, heart, power, sex chakra, and root. So, They bring energy in from the universal energy field and expel negative, unwanted energy back into the universal energy field. They're the lungs of your energy body. That's the function of the chakras, and they're very important. Without, you have to breathe to move stuff through. The chakras are all connected by lines of energy called nadis, which step the energy down and infuse it into the blood, cells, and nerves of the body. The nadis are the circulatory system of the energy body. The crown chakra is our connection to the divine universal energy, or the universal energy field. It energizes and controls the brain and the pineal gland, and is associated with the causal energy. So, it is a center of cosmic consciousness. The brow chakra controls and energizes the pituitary gland and the entire physical body. It's called the master chakra because it controls all the chakras in endocrine and the endocrine system. It's the center of the higher or abstract mind and the will, and is associated with the celestial energy body. The throat chakra controls and energizes the thyroid and the parathyroid and the larynx and the trachea and the lymphatic system. It's in its communication, obviously. And it's the center for higher or spiritual creativity, and is associated with the etheric template energy body. The heart chakra controls and energizes the heart, lungs, thymus gland, and the immune system. It is the center of higher emotions. It is associated with the astral energy body. The power chakra controls and energizes the diaphragm, liver, pancreas, stomach, and to an extent, the large and small intestines. It's associated with the mental body, which is the outermost of the three energy bodies, most closely associated with the physical body. The sex chakra controls and energizes the ovaries, testicles, bladder, and urinary tract. It is the center for physical creativity and has great influence on the throat and brow chakras. It is associated with the emotional body. And last but not least, we have the root chakra, which energizes the entire physical body and controls the musculoskeletal system, blood quality and production, cell growth, the growth rate of children, and body heat. It's responsible for our vitality and need to live, and is associated with the etheric template. However, so if somebody comes to you with a problem, you know which chakras to work from, and possibly, the energy bodies, I can't do those, but I can do chakras. So you know which chakras to work from, just from knowing who controls what and who works together. I mean, there's a lot that I'm not telling you. However, things aren't as simple as this nice drawing. The chakras are actually paired. You have a front and a back brow through sex chakras here. And then the crown and the root chakra make another pair. So, and to get a chakra to work, you have to do both the front and the back. I mean, you've got to work from all sides of the body. And since each energy body has its own chakras, remember, each of those energy bodies have those chakras on it. Each chakra is made up of the chakras of all the energy bodies. The chakras of the etheric body. Here's the etheric body. Are nested inside the chakras of the emotional body, and so on up, and they're all nested inside the chakras of the causal body. So each chakra that you're looking at is actually 7 chakras or 7 chakras. Okay, and they go down from higher energy to the physical. So you have all those to consider. And besides checking for and correcting problems with the energy bodies and chakras, a psychic healer may also check for and remove cords, negative thought forms, and entities embedded in the energy field. Cords are lines of energy that we form and attach to others, and that others attach to us. They can be anywhere in any of those energy bodies or chakras. You have to hunt for them. We are constantly making them and breaking them. They are how we literally and figuratively connect to each other. But when we are done connecting with each other, we need to cut the cord. And we usually do this automatically. But sometimes we hang on. Or the person we're connecting to hangs on to us. And this is when cords become a problem. When 2 people are corded, the weaker one draws vital energy from the stronger one, usually unconsciously, but that energy transfer occurs. And if you've corded to a lot of people, you may be getting some energy from some, but you could be drained, So cords are a really good thing to cut. We all have these leftover cords. But I have observed that the healthiest people, both physically and emotionally, have the fewest cords. And I have also observed in my massage clients that where there is a cord, I often find pain or intense sensitivity or a muscle that won't relax. When I cut the cord, the pain, sensitivity, or tension usually goes away. So I cut any and all cords I find. The only exception I make is a baby or a small child to their parents. I leave those. Not all healers, this is me, okay? Not all healers agree with that, but they'll say, "Oh, honey, do you want this cord?" Well, oftentimes the client doesn't even know where the cord came from, or if it's from their mom, it's from my mom, and so sometimes mom doesn't need to be corded to your heart chakra or your throat chakra. She could be strangling you, but don't say that. But I just cut them. And if the person really wants them, boy, they could form them like that again. And that's the problem. You keep reforming them and you have to keep recutting them. So this isn't like a perfect, one fix does it all. Psychic healing doesn't work that way. It takes time. And our thoughts coalesce into energetic beings. Every thought you have becomes something, and it's called a thought form. They start out as neutral beings, and they usually hang out in the mental body. So that's where the yellow, highly structured field that we saw. And they can start out, they're neutral, but they can become charged with emotion from the emotional body. Positive emotions like love and joy create positive thought forms, which heal the energy field. Negative emotions like anger and hate create negative thought forms that injure the energy field. The negative thought forms need to be removed. Again, this can be a labor of Sisyphus because we just generate more. But if we persevere, they can eventually be minimized. This is an instance where psychic healing and psychotherapy work well together. What I call entities are pieces of souls, living or once living, of living or once living people that have glommed onto us for one reason or another. Some hurtful, some helpful. We come into this life layered with hundreds, or in the case of old souls, thousands. And we continue to collect them in this life. They are responsible for some of our knee-jerk reactions to certain things. Why do they do that? Ideas in our heads that we don't know where they came from. And sudden emotions that come out of nowhere. These are platforms, or these are entities working you. They are long forgotten influences from people we knew in our past or present lives. And in my humble opinion, they are unnecessary and often hurtful. Any lesson they taught you, you've already got. You don't need the entity there to keep reminding you. I remove all of them. And I don't find them all. I mean, I find the things that I find that I am capable of fixing. So some entities I don't have the oomph to get rid of, but they show me the ones that I can. And any ones I see, I get rid of. Actually, I ask an archangel to remove them because the archangel knows which entities come from which souls, and they will return that entity to its owner. So it's a kind of a way of resorting the multiverse. That always makes me feel good. So I remove all cords and entities and negative platforms because our mission in life is to become the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And we can't do this with an overlay of other soul fragments, cords, and negative platforms influencing our thoughts, emotions, and health. I have no doubt that there are other things that need checking in our energy fields that I don't know about and haven't sensed, but this is what I know. So as you see, the energy field is immensely complex. It would appear to a clairvoyant as a pulsing, constantly shifting and changing, egg-shaped, multicolored, mind-numbingly intricate body of light. I would love to see somebody's personal energy field. I'm told they're beautiful, just spectacular. And even the most talented and experienced healer, unless they have achieved cosmic consciousness, has no hope of seeing and comprehending everything. It's a case of the blind man and the elephant. The elephant is the human. Oops, that's not right. There we go. The elephant is the human energy field, and those little blind men are psychic healers. That's about how we approach our whatever we're healing. We are dealing with an incredibly complex being that exists on several dimensions, and we're blinded not only by the difficulty of seeing into these dimensions, but also by our own filters of experience, belief systems, and training. But like all brilliantly designed complex systems, if you know just a few things about how to use it, it's relatively simple to work with, and you probably can't break it. And it's easy even for beginners. For instance, even a beginner, all you need to do is think of the thing in the energy field that you want to see, and it will show it to you. Like an obedient patient opening its mouth and going, or it does that just for you. Only you have to believe that that's what you're seeing, okay? And the more you learn about it, the more you can do, and the more effective your work becomes. And it even comes with its own tech support. We call them guides. We live in a literal soup of spirits, and they come in all shapes and flavors, from archangels to demons, saints to succubi, and ascended masters to your deceased Aunt Tilly. The moment we reach out and begin to explore multiverse, they are on us like ads on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But don't panic, don't panic. Remember that shell around your seventh energy body, the causal energy body. It will protect you. Even if it's only halfway healthy, it will protect you. They can't touch you unless you invite them in. So to keep yourself safe, before you begin any healing, always invoke the Divine One and or all other gods, angels, etc. that you work with and trust. Then you know that you'll be protected while you are between the worlds, and that they will add their strength to your healing. Ultimately, a psychic is only as good as their guides. And as you gain more experience and training, more powerful guides will come to help you. The trick is learning to hear them and trusting that what you heard is indeed real and not your imagination. You have to be able, and you know, and we have vivid imaginations, it could be, but that's the trick, is learning what am I imagining and what is real. And that takes practice. Practice, practice, practice. Oh, what happened? Practice. Once you are able to communicate with them, they'll teach you things about dealing with the system. They'll keep you safe. And they'll show you the parts of the energy field that you need to be working with, all separated out and simplified. I've also found that my guides don't show me anything I can't correct. I'm not sure if this is true of other healers, but it's definitely true for me. But the big thing to remember is that even though your guides will automatically show you some things, if you want to see or find out something else, or if you need help with something, you need to ask. The answer may not be exactly what you were hoping for, but it will be the right thing for that particular healing at that particular time. And if you don't ask, they can't say yes. So what I'm going to tell you about and teach you is the way I do psychic healing. Every psychic healer does it different. We each have our own personality, personal philosophy, religion, and we each have our own unique psychic talents. For instance, I'm not fortunate enough to be able to see the energy field like a clairvoyant. I work mostly by field visualization and intuition, and I hear answers, instructions, and advice. Everybody gets their information differently. Years ago, I was driving along and saw a great bumper sticker. It said, "I do whatever the little voices tell me to." I howled, and of course I dropped it back a little bit. And then I realized that that's exactly the way I do a healing. You listen for the little voices. And because I've invoked the right ones, I know those are the ones that are going to help me and not be wrong. And each of us has received our own unique blend of training. There are many systems of psychic healing. And here's a very brief description of the most well-known and most well-practiced. Reiki was developed by Mikao Usui in the early 1900s. In this system, the practitioner is attuned by a Reiki master to tap into the universal energy field and offer this energy to the client's personal energy field. Most people, most massage therapists have Reiki. And have any of you had it? Yeah. No. Therapeutic touch was developed by Dora Kuntz and Dolores Krieger in the 1970s. Again, the practitioner introduces healing energy into the client's personal energy field using a specific formalized set of hand positions. And it's been part of the nursing curriculum in the US and Canada for years. And it might interest this group, the Theosophical Society, to know that Dora Kuntz was president of the American Theosophical Society from 1975 to 1987. Pranic healing was developed by Master Kwa Kok Sui in the late 1900s. It involves clearing the client's energy field and strengthening it by adding energy in the form of light. Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha developed his soul wisdom practice in the late 1900s and early 2000s. It involves allowing the energy of your soul to heal your body. Invoke the soul, have it healed. I also include acupuncture. It's kind of like a midway thing. The only time the practitioner ever touches you with their body is to take your pulses. And then they stick needles in you. And those needles unblock and open the energy field and balance it. So they're essentially balancing the energy field. So that's kind of like a midway. But these are all international organizations and have trained millions of healers all over the world. They're listed in the bibliography and resources page that Ron sent out to you, and there's some here. And he also sent you an attachment that gives detailed instructions for the healing we're about to do. So we're on to that. So
for those online, there's a link in the chat.
They want to chat?
For those online, there's a link in the chat to the instructions, so you can see that at the top of our chat menu if you want to pull that up at home. I was just mentioning for the people online, they can click a link.
So, and then this is, that's an outline. That's not the detailed thing. So we have, under here, we have water and salt. Can't see the salt, but those are tubs of water. And it looks like everybody could have their own little tub. Almost. So let's put salt in them. Here, John, I got it. Everybody want to come up and get a tub?
Stay.
And I also would like to have a volunteer to be healed, because I'm going to do
volunteer.
A pranic healing or a over here.
She said she.
Okay. Has everybody got one? Nope. No. Does have salt in the bed?
Listen.
Here. Here, you want one?
Yeah.
And Betty, you want one? Well, you probably won't need one, but you might.
I'm going to be your guinea pig, so.
Yes, I need one. And you may want to practice. No, this is the one you want. That one doesn't have salt in it. Okay. So let's see. We need to have the camera on Betty and me. And Betty could
Leslie?
sit.
You mean Leslie?
Oh.
Okay, you sit facing.
Oops.
Oh, that's- Okay.
And put that on the floor. And okay. Before we do, okay, so I'm gonna go through the instruction sheet on Betty.
Leslie.
Huh?
Leslie.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Betty's up there.
Betty's up there, okay. I'm gonna go through the instructions on Leslie and just show you. But you are gonna be doing the chronic healing on yourself, which means you will sit with your little tub in front of you like this. And you will visualize yourself in front of you. So that, and you'll just sweep into the tub. Okay? But this is just much easier for me to just show you this way because she is real and live.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first thing that you want to do is just ground and center. And then you invoke. That's the first thing. And this is my invocation. You can make up your own. Dear the Tao, dear Divine One, dear gods and goddesses, dear all the angels, saints, and ascended masters, dear soul of my body, dear all my spiritual teachers, guides, and power animals, dear soul of Leslie's body, dear all of her spiritual teachers, guides, and power animals, dear Master Kwa, dear Master Shah, dear my divine healing hands, please give your guidance, protection, blessings, strength, and divine presence to this healing for Leslie. We would be so grateful. Okay. And then you start and you scan her energy field, or you scan your energy field. By scanning, I mean you move your hand around the field, like there's something right here. And down. There's always stuff like that. That's a cord. Keep the cord all the time there. And hard. There's another one back here. I think that's a cord. And what you do with the cords, what you're seeing me do is I'm plugging them back in to the multiverse. The cord is from somebody and I've cut it. And you just plug it back in so that they can get their energy from the multiverse where they're supposed to get it from. Anyway. Okay. There's lots of stuff. It's, oh, and about the water and the salt. Salt absorbs negative energy. And that's why you're dumping it into there instead of on the floor of this lovely place. So you just put your gunk in there and then we'll dump it in the toilet and flush it. Okay. So congestion, you also scan the energy field for, if you feel something that's pulling on your hand, that's a depletion. And if you feel something that, like there's the your power chakra is probably congested, so I'm feeling push. So just get an idea of what you're going to be working with. And then you cut any cords you find, and then you start by sweeping. Okay. Sweeping is a pranic healing technique. Other people do it too, but pranic healers are really big on sweeping. They're the cleaners and sweepers of the psychic healing world. And I think it's a good idea. So you kind of just picture something full of gunk that you're going to scrape off, and you just sweep down. And then you put it in there. And then that was right down the center. And then you go down on either by her eyes, where your eyes are. And what's happening is you're projecting bright white light out of your hands. And then you go out about ear width. And then out around shoulder width. And then just a little bit, and then little angel wings. And you do that 3 times. And then you turn them around mentally. No. So what I'm going to do is just turn her around and put her over here. Really, she's right there. Around to the ears. Shoulders. And then, so you do that 3 times. We're getting shorter, so we can get to the,
Okay.
You can do yourself. And then the other thing you want to do, which is really helpful and feels really good, is you comb the health rays. Okay, we have rays coming out of our bodies, and they get, you all are looking at me like I'm crazy, but and you want to comb them because they get droopy and they get tangled. And so you want them all to be nice and perfect. So you comb the health rays. You spread your fingers apart. And then I'm going to turn her around and do her back. Feels good, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay.
The lightning and the balancing. You should feel it.
And that is just like the simplest form of healing you can do. Anybody can do this. Not hard. And then let's see. Then you rescan and see if the stuff's still there. Maybe we got something. I don't know. So that's gone. That's still there. And then there was some over here, and it's still there. Got that one. Next stuff.
That's what our cord was. Yep. Strangling.
Huh?
You're strangling.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Good. Let's see. So we rescanned and we got some things and we didn't get other things, but we made some progress. And let's see. Then what you do is you send yourself some healing white light. Okay. And you just hold your hands out. And you guys don't have to do this yet. You do yours yourself in front of you there, but I'm going to do Leslie this way. And you'll feel where things pull. Yeah, she's wanting a lot there. Okay. Okay. When you feel like she wasn't stopping there, she was just continually pulling energy. Frequently, either it's a cord, but we cut the cord. So the other thing it could be is an entity. And they not only, glom onto you and cause reactions with you, but they also pull energy. I mean, you can waste a lot of energy on entities. So in here, I think there is an entity there. So you ask an archangel, the archangel of your choice, okay, and they will remove the entity for you. And they can do that. I'm betting it works the same with everybody. If you can sense that there's an entity there, then you can remove it. I mean, if they don't show you the stuff, I don't think they show you stuff you can't fix. So, the archangel I work with is Raphael. Dear Archangel Raphael, yeah, thank you. Did you feel it go? They're quick. And then just kind of. And then yeah, it doesn't want any more energy. Did you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
It's done.
Mm-hmm. It let me be.
It let you be. So anyway, the next thing you do is stabilize what you've done. Because otherwise everything I put in and everything will kind of leak out or whatever. So you want to stabilize it. And this is where you have to picture a color of light. Picture very light, white robin's egg blue coming out of your hands. And you just kind of go over the aura. You say stabilize, stabilize, stabilize. And that sets it so that it stays. And then you clean yourself up a little bit. Always. Of course, you probably won't have to clean it. Well, you may want to clean yourself because you're doing yourself. I always do it anyway. Because you're pulling stuff off with your hands. Then you re-invoke. Dear the Tao, dear Divine One, dear gods and goddesses, dear all the angels, saints, and ascended masters, and especially Archangel Raphael, because he came to help. So always remember, if you know an entity comes to help you, include them in your thanks. So thank you, Archangel Raphael. Dear soul of my body, dear all of my spiritual teachers, guides, and power animals, dear soul of Leslie's body, dear all of her spiritual teachers, guides, and power animals, dear Master Sha, dear Master Fa, dear my divine healing hands. How. Thank you for your guidance, protection, blessings, strength, and divine presence at this healing. For Leslie, we are so grateful. Hail and farewell. So I did all that together. You re-invoke, always think, and always say goodbye. And give her stuff back. You don't want it, and she can have it. She wants it. So, and then, you know, you separated yourself. It's like a phone conversation, and you don't hang up, you know. You always, you know, give them their energy back. Of course, you'll be doing it yourselves, so you don't have to do that. So anyway, you might want to, you want me to talk you through this? Okay, before we start, I want to make sure that you all can feel your energy. So start out, put your hands about this far apart. Don't wiggle your fingers, just put your hands this far apart and come in and feel where it starts. You'll feel like a squishy marshmallow. So remember where that marshmallow is. Remember the size. Okay, now open your hands as wide as they'll go and flex your fingers. And wiggle your fingers. And move your wrists. And open again. Okay, now try it again. So is your marshmallow smaller or bigger or the same size?
Same.
Same?
And
Same?
this one.
Same? Okay. You guys, it's supposed to get bigger.
Yeah.
Our marshmallows are already huge.
Yeah, you've already, you know, you probably were already open. That's the best way to open. Everybody says you rub your hands together. No. Okay, so you know your marshmallows and you know how to find your energy field. So put the put your tub about, you know, between your feet in front of you, or maybe a little further out front, out here. So that when you, okay. And here you go, Leslie. Eats for you. Okay. Now, round and center. And I'm just going to invoke because I invoke everybody. You can talk to the ones you want to. Dear the Tao, dear gods and goddesses, dear all the angels, saints, and ascended masters, dear all the spiritual teachers, guides, and power animals of everybody in this room, and dear all souls of their bodies. Please give your guidance, protection, blessings, strength, and divine presence to this self-healing. We would be so grateful. Okay. And now, so we invoked, we made our request. Visualize yourself standing like, and make yourself maybe about this big, make it easy on yourself. And have yourself standing right over the tub. Visualization is really important. Okay. So take your hand and scan your energy fields and see what you can find. Scan the figure in front of you, because you can turn that figure all around any way you want. You can be facing yourself. You can be, front to back. And find out, where there are chords. And once you've scanned yourself, look for chords, depletion. Cut away the chords that you find and start sweeping. And make sure that you turn yourself around. If you're facing, turn it so that you're in profile, and you can do that kind of sweeping there. May I? When you're done sweeping, make sure you've done the front and the back 3 times. Send yourself some white light. Just hold your hands out in front of you and envision bright, brilliant white light coming out of your hands, and you'll feel yourself wanting to have it certain places. Allow yourself to move. Give yourself the light where you want it. It's okay. And because you've swept yourself, the light can get in. It won't congest like it would if you were already funky. Okay, now stabilize that energy picture light whitish robin's egg blue light around your body. Just put it around your body. And that stabilizes the energy that you put in. Okay, and then you re-invoke, and then you say thank you, and then you say goodbye. Okay. Dear the Tao, dear gods and goddesses, dear all the angels, saints, and ascended masters, dear all my spiritual teachers, guides, and power animals, dear all of everybody in the room, spiritual teachers, guides, and power animals, dear souls of everybody's body in the room. How, thank you. Thank you for attending and for guiding this and for your presence and your protection and your divine presence at this healing. We are so grateful. Hail and farewell. See. All better? Yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, hopefully that practice will continue with you. The thing is, it took you a long time this time. I can get through that in like 2 minutes. I put myself over the toilet before I go to bed and just, do the healing. And it's like brushing your teeth. And it makes a huge difference. I mean, even those few techniques that I showed you are huge if you just do those. So anyway, that's what I have to show you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chrissy, so much.
Chris, will you be taking questions?
Yes, I'm taking questions.
For those of you online, I'm monitoring the chat. If you want to enter your question into the chat, Chrissy's available to answer your questions. Anybody live and in person who has questions? This is a daily practice for you, Chrissy? This is how frequently do you need to cut cords, or is it based on the experiences as you have them, or what drives your practice?
I usually do like the full sweeping and everything like once a week, but I'm constantly checking for cords and cutting them. And you can do like abbreviated stuff. And if you hurt yourself, sweep it with white light, and then give it some light. And that robin's egg blue that I showed you is a good anti-inflammatory. It helps if you give it that. If you like, I've healed burns immediately. If you burn yourself, stick your hand under cold running water, sweep, 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 add the blue back, and it comes out, you're not burned anymore. So anyway, so you use it. I use it constantly, but I do that big thing over the toilet. But I go into my office and have crystals and everything. I'll make sure that when you sweep that gunk off you, that it goes somewhere. I'm to the point where I can dissipate it and put it out the window and it leaves. And if you're outside, just put it on Mama. The earth will take it in and change it. So does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay. Anybody else?
Is there a cost to the healer of doing this? Like, is there any energy depletion or anything?
If you do pranic healing the way I'm telling you, I didn't say that. You get your energy, that light comes from the multiverse. It comes from the divine. It costs you nothing. In fact, it's good for you. When you run that white light, it heals you too, if you're healing somebody else. So it's tiring because it involves a certain amount of concentration, but you get used to it and you can do it pretty well. So yeah, I mean, a lot of healers use their own energy, and yes, they can burn out really quickly that way. And the other danger is that you pick up energy from your client, which is why you always, if you're working with somebody, always sweep yourself and get rid of anything and make sure you have no cords to that person, because that's another place that you can be injured if you're working with people. Thank you. I forgot to say that. So anyway, any other questions?
And this is maintenance regardless of body is what you're saying. So you're saying if you got a problem with your physical body, this works. You have a problem with your mental body, you have pervasive thoughts you can't get rid of, you can cleanse this way. If it's an emotion, it's a feeling you can't get over. This works for any of the 7 bodies.
Yes. I think, because you are all those bodies. And if you say go away, that's, and yes, you can, if you find thought forms, just grab them and throw them down into that water, and they'll go away until you make it again. Because it's hard not to think of pink elephants, but you can, if you keep at it long enough, the thought forms will go. Entities, if you find what you think is an entity, ask an archangel. They'll be there. They'll come. Did anybody here experience somebody coming to help them? You did? Do you mind saying who it was?
It was Raphael. It was exactly who you said.
Oh,
That came to help.
okay.
Yeah.
And he came to help
Yeah.
you finish off? He likes to finish. Anybody else?
So what are the entities?
Hmm?
What are the entities?
The entities. Entities are like they're pieces of people that living or dead that have glommed onto you and were born with them, tons of them. Did I say entities that came to help? Did I?
You said both.
Okay.
They could do both.
So, who came? It wouldn't be entities that came by my definition. It would be who came to help you.
Okay.
Like, was it an archangel? Was it? Sometimes our relatives come to help us, and depending on what you think of that relative, their help would be relative. But or there are lots of spirits, or a god or a goddess. I've had people on my table, and I've had gods come to help heal them. It's just amazing, and these gods are very. I was working on one woman, and she works for Mercy Corps, and she's just like a strong woman. And I was working on her and trying to get something fixed, and all of a sudden Sekhmet showed up right in front of me and screams at me, "Heal her." It was like, that cartoon of the guy sitting in front of a stereo speaker holding on to the armchair going like this. That was about what it was. And after I recovered a little bit, I said, "You're going to have to help me." And she huffed and puffed, and she's just sent this bolt of energy through me to the client. So, you know, who knows what comes to help? Did that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay. Or spirits, nature spirits, can be very suspicious of elementals if they come to help you, because they tend to be mischievous and they're pretty much one-trick ponies. You know, the earth elementals do earth.